Welcome to the Late AWE Breakfast Show. Here's your host, Sean Hannam.
Good morning. Welcome to the AWE Breakfast Show, or as we're calling it today, the Late Breakfast Show, as this is going out live at 11 a.m. rather than our usual early morning slot. Although if you are listening to this on catch up, then you'll have no idea what we're talking about. Okay, so my name's Sean Hannam and I'm a freelance journalist. I've been specializing in writing about tech, retail and music. And I've been in the CE industry for more than 20 years. And I'm your host for this week's AWE Breakfast Show sessions at EI Live Interactive. Now, as part of this virtual week-long event for the home tech sector, I've been talking to industry representatives from brands including Sony, Ring, URC, Epson, Denon Marantz and Definitive Technology from Sound United, LG, and also, of course, AWE. And for this morning's half an hour session, the final episode in our series of shows, it's been an epic week. We're talking to AWE and we're finding out about the company and its business and what makes it different from other distributors in the CE and AV and home integration smart home sectors. And as it's the final show of the week, hold on guys, big breath, we're holding a competition, woo, in which you can win a Ring X-Line video doorbell. So listen out for the details of the competition and how you can win that at the end of the show. And also, if you'd like to submit any questions to the panel during the show, please do so. And we'll try and answer them at the end of the session if we can squeeze them in. Now, I'd like to introduce my guests. So delighted to joining me this morning, AWE's Managing Director, Stuart Tickle, Sales Director, Paul Mott, and Gavin Ching, who is CI Channel Manager at AWE. Morning, guys. How are you all?
Hi, Sean.
Very good. Thank you, Sean.
Very good.
A bit later, we're going to be joined by two more of the AWE team. We've got CTO Mal Fisher, who will be talking to us about training, and Home Cinema Product Manager James Drummy, who has the important job of telling us all about how you can all enter the competition. But where are you all this morning, by the way? I'm in leafy Cheshire in Buckinghamshire. Paul, I'm judging by your background, I think you might be in AWE HQ in Epsom.
That's right, Sean. Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about the HQ later, aren't we? You're going to be filling us in on that as well. Maybe I'll give us a guided tour, really. I don't know. You could maybe have a wander around the room. Gavin, where are you calling us?
I'm Boston, down in leafy Tunbridge Wells.
Okay. Everywhere's always leafy, isn't it, when people say they're ready? It's always leafy or sunny. Stuart, is it leafy or sunny where you are?
Well, it's neither, because the leaves are now on the ground, so it's leafy if you're walking around, but if you're a tree, it's not very leafy. But I'm in the Sussex countryside. Right,
and it's very nice. I'm very jealous. Let's get straight on with it. As you're the man at the top at AWE, let's ask you for some background on AWE. Throughout the week, we've been asking people to tell us about their companies. Can you give us a brief history of AWE? Tell us kind of how it started, how it all came about.
Yeah, and I've been set a challenge by the team to get this done in a couple of minutes, because 85 years history. I can talk about all sorts of stories. Maureen in baby care at Philips, and there's huge stories I could go on, but we haven't got time. So the slide is very helpful here. This is my great granddad on the left there, and he founded the company as Radio Menders Limited. This was in the 30s, and basically, the company has evolved quite substantially since then, as you can tell. During the war years, there wasn't a huge demand for new radiograms, funny enough, and the company evolved to making spares, mending stuff, and also providing manufacturing services, including some for radar and bits and pieces like that.
Great.
When my dad took over, he started a new area of the business, which was audio light. So that was manufacturing background music systems. And when Pioneer bought out the multi-disc CD player, we were making tape-based units. It was a huge moment. And, this 6-disc CD players came along. So he opened a Pioneer account and we started selling 6-disc CD players to background music installers. And that was the first time we sold somebody else's product. Right. And the picture on the right there is a shop. And that's the old factory. There was a shop front. Dad had a Pioneer account and a shop front, so we opened a Pioneer shop, and I started as a Saturday boy there.
Wow, long time ago.
That is a long time ago. How
did the company develop from being a retail, outlet into an AV and smart home and tech distributor? It's a kind of big jump, isn't it?
It is a big jump, but it happened fairly naturally for us. Manufacturing in the UK was getting harder because things were starting to go global. So the company then was making things like background music systems, but also aircraft ground lighting transformers, supplying BAA and MOD. And I really wasn't an engineer. I'm more on the marketing and the sales. And back then, that's when Laserdisc and home cinema was just in its infancy. And all my interest was in that. And we had a trade counter out the back of the shop. And that was really, so we were selling to customers out the front, and at the back we had a trade counter which was supplying these background music installers.
Right.
And as plasma TVs and all this kind of more exciting tech started coming out, we hooked on to the fact that there was this new and exciting high-end residential installation kind of channel developing, which was custom install. And we got involved back then and started focusing on that. And essentially, we set a plan. Paul joined about this time as well. So it was myself and Paul running the shop. The stock room was the flat upstairs. The bedsit, the one-bedroom bedsit upstairs was the flat. So getting the TVs up and down there was quite fun. And yeah, we went from there. So we started developing our distribution side, and there was a point where we decided, right, that is the future. That's what we want to do. And we worked very hard to make that happen.
And I guess when I first met you, I was editor of ERT, the electrical retailing trade magazine. So you also deal with, as well as specialist integrators and residential, you also deal with traditional, in inverted commas, electrical retailers, don't you? So some of your customers are guys who are moving into installation who've traditionally been retailers, like yourself started out as, and looking to kind of move into the smart home and look at those opportunities that brings them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that kind of grounding as starting as a Saturday boy and then really running the shop and having the trade. When we moved to our first premises in Epsom, which must be 15, 20 years ago, we closed the shop. We sold off the remaining bits of the factory because basically we knew if you're going to be a serious distributor, you can't retail as well. So 20 odd years ago, when we decided that distribution and the emerging smart technology and control solutions and all this was coming out, we shut the retail side, but that passion still carried through. We're now a specialist distribution company dealing with integrators, but for many years we've pushed right back from then to try and encourage retailers to do more than just sell a box out the front door, because let's face it, the internet does a great job of selling boxes and getting it to your home quite cheaply and efficiently. There's online reviews. So retailers need to do more than just do what you can get online, and installation, I think, is a key part of that.
Gavin, I'm going to bring you in now to talk a bit more about the kind of customers and the brands that AWE works with. So you offer a large portfolio of brands at AWE. Some are specialist ones, which we've just touched on, and some are more mainstream. Can you kind of talk us through the kind of brands that you're dealing with and the kind of channels that you operate in?
Yeah, Sean. It's a large portfolio. It certainly is. So AWE partner with some of residential AV's biggest brands, with really a focus on mid to premium products. Of course, the very latest technologies. We actually represent 25 brands in 16 categories, which are a mix, as you said, and a balance of mainstream and specialist solutions. We really have two categories that make up our specialist installation brands. And really, in the first instance, we have the UK exclusive brands, which are Ring X Line, URC Control, Denon Hios Pro, the Marantz AVR SR5015, Definitive Technology CI in-wall, home cinema and architectural speakers. Then we have our own brand, Kinetic Labs, which consists of speakers, firehoods, cables, and IR kits. So I think commercially, having exclusive AWE brands really enables us to offer unique solutions to different verticals with very attractive retained margin, along with top-notch training and technical support.
Yeah, we've been speaking to a lot of those brands during the week. Paul, let's bring you in now. You're in AWE headquarters in Epsom in Surrey. So are you currently open for business as we're all in lockdown? How's it going there at the moment? What can we expect from you if we come to AWE headquarters, other than a cup of tea?
Yeah, well, always a great cup of coffee or a cup of tea. So that's always been available. But yes, I mean, it's been challenging, but we wanted to ensure that we had a COVID secure building, that our team could work together. We've had to implement different staffing policies for that, but also for our customers, that we're open for business. The training has mostly been online, but the demo facilities, we've made a point of making it safe and secure from COVID point of view, but open for those dealers that want to bring their customers or want to visit us to find out more about the products we do. So we have an appointment system in place. We have a main show apartment, which hopefully a lot of people have visited over the years.
Great.
And occasionally for nice events where we do hog roasts and things like that, which is something we hopefully once again we'll be doing. But we also
we're all getting hungry now. Our stomachs are all rumbling. Yeah.
But we also have cinema rooms as well. So we have 2 dedicated rooms where we can demonstrate a range of the products actually we've been talking about this week. So Sony and Epson projectors are on demo there. And that's very, very important support really for our dealer base to help encourage our marketplace to promote home cinema. And as we've spoken about probably in a number of these presentations, the home environment and getting entertainment in the home is very, very important at the moment for people.
When that show apartment opened, it was kind of industry first, wasn't it? No one else had anything like it, and a lot of people still haven't. Your competitors still haven't got anything like it. So you've probably got one of the the leading facilities in the UK for that kind of technology, really.
Yeah, it's a significant investment over many years, and it's developed, but it brings together elements that we had before in training and demonstration, but in an environment that's much more comfortable for installers to bring their customers to come down and train with us when they can do face-to-face training, and that's ongoing. The team specified this, including the coffee machine. We're all very involved with the coffee, but we have a support also from our manufacturers. So the brands that you see around here, we give a representative example of products that we feature and controlled by URC, our control brand. So it is an integrated smart home solution. We don't live here. You might think we do from seeing us this morning, one of us in the building, but it is a comfortable environment. It is a showroom area as well, so we can bring a group of products together. But it's a great facility, and we have lively discussions about where it goes. So it's what should we show, how should we show it, because it doesn't stand still. It's always here, but we're always progressing forward with products and how we show things.
Great. We talked about the HQ. We talked about the brands you kind of represent in history. Stuart, I'd like to bring you in now to ask you about, you've got all this great tech, that you're distributing, you've got these facilities. How do you kind of promote your message out to the industry? What are your kind of initiatives for marketing and, social media, etc.? How do you get the message out there to the trade?
Well, I like to think this is one of our strengths, because fundamentally nobody will buy from you if you're not a good company to do business with. So it has to start with the back end and the team and the brands, the products, and all of that. But people also, we're in a highly competitive market. When we started, we were one of the first to be a proper distribution company working into the residential market. Now every time I open, if I use David's Essential Install magazine, every time I open the mag and I turn the pages, there's a new distribution company with some new brands that I've never heard of. And also you see brands circling round. So what we have is a very stable and portfolio of products, but we need to tell customers about them. We need to remind integrators that we're here, and in a normal year that would be, well, right now we would have just finished Essential Install Live. We would have done Cedia Tech forums. We would have had AWE Expo. So AWE Expo, we'd have hundreds of integrators through over a handful of days, and Paul mentioned the hog roast earlier. We do give them coffee and hog roast and stuff like that, but fundamentally people are here to see products, and that's why we've done what we've done with the breakfast shows this week. Credit to David for putting on a virtual platform instead of the physical show, which unfortunately couldn't happen. But what we've done is we've made the most of it. A half-hour PowerPoint really isn't good enough, to be honest, to give customers all the information they need. So, hence why we've done these, we've reached out. But just constantly separate to special events, just in the background, we've got all our social media and things, but connect.awe. So you can you just Google Connect AWE or go via our website. But this is our digital magazine. So all our social media and efforts come back to this site, and we get thousands and thousands of views of the different content we put on there. Some are from integrators, case studies, testimonials. So we want engagement from our brands and our customers. So please get in touch. If we haven't already poked you and said, please do something. Sean, you're on there with a few articles, aren't you?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, a few of people like Steve Main, other leading journalists in the industry. There's some guest contributors, aren't there? Yeah.
That's right. It's a really good, interesting mix. So it's a good way for integrators to find out product info, but also it's a good way for us to generate leads, which we then feed through to integrators. So all exposure is good on there. So if you're a customer that's got something you want shared, or you've got a viewpoint, because we do feature articles, we can do that.
Right.
All sorts of ways, but those are the ones that come to mind.
Gavin, we've sort of identified, how the messages got out there and what you kind of products you do and stuff. But can you tell us a bit more about the sort of AWE customer? Who's your kind of, what's an AWE distributor, or a retailer or an installer? What does that make up, and how do you kind of support them?
Yeah, so to effectively address and support the different types of customers we're signing up, and how we manage, define and segment our business efforts, we actually have in place a channel management structure. Which is aligned with our brand's market strategies, and to that end, that's why we actually have different dealer types and agreements in place. So, for example, we have an accredited dealer program. These dealers have specific access to products like Epson and Sony projectors, Ring X line, and URC, but they must first sign up as a CI dealer. We also have an AWE smart home dealer. This program is really designed for installing retailers and opens up access to a specific basket of products. So with the CI dealer and the agreement, when you typically sign up and register as an AWE customer, you only really have access to our open products, typically screens, cables, accessories. However, a large percentage of products we offer are actually designated as CI only. So in order to access the very best margin, the very best and margin-rich solutions, dealers must sign up to the agreement. So the agreement's not onerous in terms of how much you purchase. It's really a tool that's designed to protect the integrity of how the brands are handled within the CI channel. So we require that the CI-only products must be professionally installed as part of a custom design system. It can't be sold over the counter or online. And we also require that the CI dealers have a level of technical capabilities within the business, in order to be in a position to be the first tier of support remotely and online to the end user. There's some key benefits to signing up as a CI dealer. For one, we open up access to all the margin-rich CI designated products. We include the business and installer on the AWE dealer finder. And we also open up product training and a high level of technical support and engagement. So as a CI dealer, you also have access to special demo and dealer rates as well. So our CI customers are individuals or companies that are actually serious about being able to install the very best residential technology systems at a professional level.
Great, thanks. And we're going to be joined by Mal Fisher, who's the CTO at AWE. Mal should be out there somewhere. I think he's going to come in to join us on the panel session. Here he is. Morning, Mal.
Good morning.
You're going to talk about training, which I know is a really important part of AWE's setup. So tell us about the kind of training that it carries out for its customers. Can you sort of talk us through that, Mal?
Yeah, it's a critical part of what we do, and training for us is as much about us learning as everyone else learning as well, this year especially. Behind Paul, there's a door there to a training room, which has been very quiet this year, and it's got all the tools. It's got a projector, your whiteboard. It's got a stack of equipment for workshops that we would use, and then we have the apartment and cinemas that we can work with as well. And we've had to take all of that and turn it into this and this, and still trying to get the information across. So working out what's informative, what needs to have actual learning objectives, and how we keep that information going to our customers. So this year we've carried out over, I think, 400 hours of online training. And while it's laborious, we try and keep that in as small groups as possible. We encourage our customers to have their cameras on, their microphones on, because they need to be discussions. We need to have that interaction with our customers to make sure that the information's going in. We need to get their feedback on the products themselves and the processes themselves, so that we know we're going down the right path.
So during the time, there's obviously, when it's normal, the non-COVID time, you do a lot of physical training, don't you? So as you say, this year you've had to kind of concentrate online, but you have a good mix of online training and physical, hands-on training as well.
That's right. Yeah, there's no substitute for actual learning in place with equipment actually doing. People learn in different ways, but the majority of people are kinetic learners. They're going to be able to pick up a box and understand more about it when they're looking at it and working with it, and able to fire off quick questions than you do if you're seeing a PowerPoint from a couple of 100 miles away. It's just a natural reality.
It's much better to have interactive sessions, isn't it? I think people get a lot more out of it. You also work closely with the association CEDIA, don't you? Obviously on their training sessions, and you get involved in CEDIA events.
We do involve with CEDIA events. We're involved with CEDIA volunteering. So I'm the chair of the Professional Development Advisory Council for CEDIA. That means education. And we are effectively the Southern Training Centre for CEDIA in the UK. We're the only company outside of CEDIA that delivers CEDIA core content ourselves, our staff, rather than bringing in instructors. So James, who you'll see in a moment, teaches the Home Smart Design School, and I'm instructor for the networking school. So 3 days of all things very, very geeky and nerdy, but a lot of fun usually.
And how people can get involved with it if they're interested, or customers and who are watching this and stuff? How should they go about getting hold of you guys, and if they want certain specific training sessions?
Yep, we have a training website, smarthomeacademy.co.uk, and if there's nothing on there that appeals, talk to us. We're generally quite friendly people. And we'd like to know what the training needs are. So if there's something that you need to know about our product portfolio or a skill set, let us know. We can either do that training ourselves, or we may well know of another resource where you can get that information and do that training.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Paul in now, because we want to talk about awards, linking seamlessly from the training. You've won some awards for your training as well as some other stuff. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the accolades that AWE have notched up over the years? I can't see the trophy in the cabinet from where you're sitting, but I know it's quite full, isn't it?
Just behind me over there, we bought a bit of furniture that's very easy to expand. So we have high ambitions in the future as well as what we've achieved so far. But yeah, I think what's behind awards is really, really important. As Mal's been saying about training and ongoing support, we put a large amount of effort and time of the team in encouraging our dealers to go out and do more, learn more, and be able to sell more, so grow the industry. So it is about selling a product, but it's also how you train and support that product. And that sometimes means that we get a little bit of silverware or glassware. And this year, we were a finalist in the Best Trade Supplier for CEDIA. And later on this year, ERT Best Training Awards. So we're up against some big names out there in the industry. So it's really nice to be recognised for what we're doing. And also, it's very nice to win an award as well. So hopefully we can buy an extension for our cabinet soon and stack up a few more awards on there.
Yeah, fingers crossed, that would be great. So Stuart, you talked about all these awards and the facilities and the tech and the products. Let's talk a bit about the kind of business, really. How's business at the moment? It's been obviously a challenging one for everyone this year. There's been some supply and demand issues, but the CE industry has benefited, although it's sad that it's taken something like COVID to kind of save certain aspects of the retail industry and the tech industry. What's it been like for you guys, and how's it looking out there at the moment?
I mean, business at the moment is phenomenal. It's an interesting one. I always try and caveat when I'm talking to people that I need to say that whilst business is superb, I recognise there's a lot of people that are obviously having a very difficult time, on either a health or an emotional level. Yeah. So, I'm fully appreciative of that, and, reach out to those people, as best we can. on a pure business level, which is the question, it's been difficult, but it's great. It's through the roof. Stock and supply is the biggest challenge at the moment. This is coming back from the sort of original reductions in supply due to the China lockdown back at the beginning of the year. And that's really what happened is all the brands looked at that. They saw this pandemic coming across into Europe, and everyone cut their forecasts. So whether they were planning a flat year or a growth year, everyone cut their forecast from a manufacturer's supply point of view, which, and then China came back and they had strong demand. But the forecasts weren't there. And obviously for manufacturers, it takes months of planning to get the kind of just-in-time type stock flow that they require. And then demand's gone through the roof, not just in the UK. But if we're taking the UK CI industry, demand is incredibly high. We as a company remained very active throughout lockdown. So Mal mentioned that 400 plus hours of training. That was just during March and April. We're way above that now, or should I say April and May. And so we took a decision quite early on. We didn't know how long and how deep the pandemic was going to be. Obviously, it still is. Yeah. But we took the decision to keep it rolling, keep as many staff as possible active, converted to online training, maintain regular contact. And I think that helped us come out fast the other side as well.
We kept the future, looking ahead. Yeah, looking at the future, what's the outlook like? We've got Brexit on the way. We're still in the throes of COVID. We've got Black Friday next week. We've got Christmas. In a nutshell, what's kind of the outlook for 2021?
Yeah, I mean, cautious optimism has to be the way it is. There's there have been things in our company's history that, I always say there are things we can't control, but we can perhaps influence how we perform as a business. And the company with our 85-year history has got through the World War II and previous major issues and recessions, the global recession 2009 onwards. Things like that really hurt us, of course, but the whole point is if you're nimble and you're forward thinking, you can we need to do the best we can. So 2021 positive. There's Brexit, there's pandemic, there's possible global recession, but you can guarantee we'll be there fighting to make everything we can. And I'm very confident. I take this opportunity to publicly thank the team within AWE, those on screen and those not, because it really comes down to the team of people that I've got the pleasure of sort of putting together and working with on a daily basis, and that's what keeps our customers coming back. Right. Sounds a bit like a BAFTA speech, but thank you to our customers also, because what would we be doing without you?
So we're coming up to the end of the session, so I'd now like to ask James Drummy, AWE, to join us. He's got details of the competition. This is the bit we've all been waiting for.
Hello.
So we've got a competition, haven't we? So can you tell us a bit about that and how people can enter and what they can win?
Yeah, so we're running this competition. Entries will be accepted right until 3 p.m. next Friday. What we were actually trying to get you to do is watch some of our previous breakfast shows. So the question is, on Monday's breakfast show, which film did Todd Towie from Ring mention as having viewed during lockdown? Now, I'll give you a clue. It's a war movie. So what I'd like to do is email your answers to connect@awe-europe.com. As I said, entries close on Friday, 27th of November, 3 p.m. and it's open to all UK integrators.
Great, thanks, James. Well, that's it. We've come to the end of this session with AWE. Sadly, it's also the last instalment of this week's AE Breakfast Show. It's been a really fun week. I'd like to thank all this morning's guests from AWE, Stuart, Gavin, Paul, Mal and James, and also all of my previous guests from the other shows this week, and David Kitchener from EI Live and Essential Install for his organisation, for helping us get this off the ground, and for just generally making it a smooth and fun experience. So we've all had some very enjoyable informative sessions today and during the rest of the week. If you missed any of them, you can access it on Catch Up. And thanks for listening, I guess. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck in the competition. And we'll see you soon. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks all. Thank you, David, and thank you, Sean. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the AWE Breakfast Show.